up, everyone? Welcome. Yvonne here. You might be wondering, what am I doing in my shower? I wanted to talk about today the benefits of creating a green space in your home. This is my favorite green space in my home. It's probably the one that's most green. Uh, but I do have quite a few plants inside my house as well. I'll definitely show you a couple of those a little bit later. But yeah, so today I just wanted to talk about how much of a difference it can make to your home life and to your life in general by bringing nature indoors. I moved into this apartment maybe like 6 months ago, and there were a few plants that were like already thriving, and some of them were just like really sad and on their way out. So I've really given them a lot of love lately, and I'll show you some of them a bit more later. But yeah, I just thought that it's so crazy. Like the average American spends like 90% of their time indoors, whether they be at home or they work indoors. And that goes to say you can definitely apply what we're talking about today to your work space as well, hopefully, if that's a possibility for you. So, not being connected with nature and the outdoors, I mean, does a lot for our natural like psychology, like our physiology as well, right? We are meant to be outdoors. We're meant to see the colors of nature on a regular basis. Even something as simple as the sunrise and the sunset, the color tones of, the blues and the golden colors that are there, like those differences in colors are supposed to help our circadian rhythm, to help calm and soothe us at during sunset. They prepare us for bed, things like that, right? So just like seeing the different shades of nature can really help our mood levels or stress levels, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. So obviously the best thing to do is to actually get out in nature, is to actually go outside. But the second best thing is to bring plants into your home. One of the benefits that I love about bringing plants indoors, especially like this is a semi outdoor space, but I have plants in my bedroom, I have plants in the living room, and plants in enclosed spaces help to purify the air, which is pretty magical in its own way, right? They take in carbon dioxide and they give off oxygen. And then on top of that, there are certain plants that can like properly purify. There are plants that take out things like formaldehyde and benzene, which are just all like really bad pollutants that come from exhaust, like from cars and things like that. So having those in the house is, your own natural air purifier in its own way. And, I know that sometimes, having lived in the city for so long myself, my bathroom in the city did not have a window. Like having a window in your bathroom can be quite the luxury sometimes. So the solution for that is always a UV light. If you want to bring plants into any space that doesn't have any natural light, you can always use a UV light and leave it on during the day, and that will mimic the natural light cycle. But also, if you are fortunate to have a window, there are certain plants that do well in indirect sunlight, low light, all of that good stuff. So you can always, go to your local nursery and just ask someone there. And there's a million videos and all of that talking about which plants are good for what. And always keep in mind, too, pets. Certain plants are toxic to pets. There are certain plants that people are occasionally allergic to. I need a proper cup holder in here because that's not a cup holder. It's actually quite making me a little nervous. Um, okay. So yeah, just check those little things before you fill your house with a bunch of plants that are toxic to your pets. But even for the most part, I think aloe vera might be toxic. My cat doesn't go near it. So, anyways, so yeah, so another benefit I briefly mentioned it earlier is how well it can help with your mood, your stress, even some forms of depression. Um, as always, if you have any bigger issues, speak to a professional, right? But plants do help overall in a number of ways. One is like for me, like right now, there's a little breeze, and I can see the leaves on these two plants just kind of moving around in the wind a little bit. And that natural motion is already quite calming for me. And then, second, the color, the vibrant natural color of the plants, the different hues that I see are just so beautiful. And as we know, when we look at beautiful things, especially when they are in nature, they bring us a sense of peace. And I definitely feel that on a regular basis when I look at my plants. Another reason why it's so great for my mental health overall is the plants are like my other little like roommates, but they're my other little pets more like it because they need care, just like my little Yari needs care, and I have to be regular about them. I have to give them water on a regular basis. I have to keep a lookout to see if they have any like bugs or infestations, and if they do, I have to clean them and care for them. Sometimes when they grow out of their pots, they grow too big for their pots, like they grow too big for shoes or something. You have to change their pots so that they can grow bigger and more and fulfill their destiny. uh, yeah, and so that whole process, watching them grow and flourish and thrive, is very rewarding and fulfilling in its own way. Like I said, I've been here for about 6 months, and watching the slow and steady change and evolution of my green space has been very satisfying. Hi, did you hear me say your name? Come, come, Mary. She actually never comes when I say that. But yeah, so they really have overall made my space like the sanctuary that it has become. They just play a really big part in that. And again, I'll show you some of the other places where I've put the plants. I try basically everywhere that I sit in my house. You can see plants from that area. I'm very lucky that I do have a nice view from my main space out there, so I do spend a lot of time in there. But the sunlight that is in that room is late afternoon, and it could be quite intense, so I don't actually sit in the sun in that space. But here I get the morning light, and in about an hour, I chose not to film this. Oh, there's construction next door. Uh-oh. I chose not to film this video during the full light because it's like properly on my face. But it's really nice to just sit out here with a book when they're not doing construction next door, which they just started like the other day. So we'll see how much more of this video I can record in here. I might move inside for the end of it. I think I have to. So yes, be right back. Really? Lovely. Okay, welcome back. I have moved. Um, Hopefully, we won't hear that too much in the background, but I wanted to finish this up for you. So, yes, now I'm in the space where you might have seen another video from here. Uh, but this is the space I probably sit the most in because I have a green space right in front of me that I like to look at. But I do have, a couple other beautiful plants here This one, it's also really cool to watch how they always gravitate towards the sun. Like, as you can see, these two big leaves are like always reaching that way towards the sun. I have a couple bigger plants here that are just thriving. And then I'll show you photos of some of the other cuttings. I have a little garden downstairs. It's not one that I really sit in much, just it's just not really. I sit in there a little bit actually sometimes. But I've taken a couple cuttings and I've put them in vases, and then I have those around the house, and those are thriving as well. So, yeah, pretty much everywhere you sit, there is a little bit of green. So it does make me happy. And so the overall like benefit I do notice again is that I've created this like little refuge sanctuary, like really safe space for myself, and the plants really contribute to that. Um, Again, because we are meant to be surrounded by nature. We're not, we're not meant to be like in these enclosed spaces all day with artificial light and all of those things. We're meant to open the windows and have fresh air. We're meant to hear the birds and, you know, have butterflies flutter through. Um, the other day, actually, there were two butterflies that came into the shower while I was showering, and it was just like such a blissful moment. And those I feel like are really those simple pleasures that make my life so satisfying right now. Um, and it's interesting how the evolution of what has been satisfying for me, um, I feel like the satisfaction I get from things like plants and puzzles. I've been doing a puzzle the past couple days. Um, they're such simple pleasures, but they're more satisfying than like going shopping. Like before, shopping was such a thing that I did. Like it's just like that was like shopping. What is it? Retail therapy is what they call it. And not only I couldn't afford it when I was shopping, but it was very short lived, and it needed to be fueled frequently, just like any other addiction, right? Like you want more, you want bigger. Um, but these kind of simple pleasures don't cost much. Well, sometimes plants are a bit expensive, but once you make the initial investment, then they last forever in most cases. And trust me, there might be a couple that don't make it, and that's okay. It's a trial and error, and you live and you learn kind of thing. Take notes, and there are a lot of really cool content creators that talk about how to take care of indoor plants. But yeah, I love my plants, and I really hope that you feel a little inspired to bring nature into your home. I promise that it will create a much more pleasant living environment for you um, in more ways than one. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to continue with my chill Sunday and use my yogi powers to not let the banging next door disrupt that. And if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Put down in the comments if you have a green space and some of the benefits it's had on your life, or if you'd like to share cool plants that you have that you love, if you have some of the same plants that I have. Yeah, I love plant talk now. I know, kind of dirty, but yeah, I do. All right. Thanks. Till next time. Peace.